What's going on, my fellow Farmall brothers and sisters? Alright, so we're doing a test. I have that really super rusty gas tank on that 300, and let's see if we can get that rust out of there. So stay tuned and I'll kind of show you what I'm up to. Alright, so yes, when I make the tumbler and put the tanks in there with the BBs and the evapor rust and all that good stuff, and you keep that thing churning, it actually does a pretty good job cleaning it out. But I want to see if I can try something a little different. We're going to go ahead and try the vinegar test and see if the vinegar filled up in this thing will eat this rust out of this tank, and then we're going to hit it with the muriatic acid, and then we're going to clean it with acetone, and then we're going to coat it. This tank on that 300 is really bad. I don't know if you can see that or not. See if I can turn on the flash on this thing. Yeah, you can kind of see it in there. See that? She ugly. See if I can zoom it in this way. Yeah, this tank's bad. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and load this thing up with 11 gallons worth of vinegar and let it sit for about 24 hours and then flush it all out and see how it looks. So let's head on over to the other shop and go ahead and let's get the vinegar. All right, so here it is. 11 gallons worth of white vinegar. So I'm going to fill this thing up full. We're going to let it sit for about 24 hours and check it out and see how it looks. So anyway, so after this is done, if this works, then I'm going to go ahead and do the muriatic acid. If this doesn't work and it doesn't clean a tank this severely rusted, then we're going to go ahead and do the electrolysis next. Now, the only problem with the electrolysis is these tanks obviously have a baffle on them. Electrolysis only works with line of sight. It may pull some of that out from behind those baffles and bring it on to its sacrificial rod. It may not. The only problem is when we do the electrolysis, you have to do it outside because it does make a hydrogen gas and it can explode. So it's got to be done outdoors. And it also, a tank this rusted, if I did it exactly the way it is right now, it would probably take about 3 weeks for it to actually go ahead and clean that tank out. Now the tank on the 450, the guy said he was going to clean, but actually that one isn't that bad. That one I think the white vinegar will absolutely clean that tank, without a doubt. This one is one of the worst tanks I have. So I'm actually really curious to see how it works on this. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and dump all of these in here, and then it'll be about 24 hours before this video starts back up again, and we'll see what the results look like. Alright, so here she sat in all her stinky glory with lots of vinegar in there, which you can seriously smell. It looks like I might have a pinhole at the top of this tank somewhere in there that I'm going to have to find out where and repair it because it's seeping. Alright, that's the only place I see it seeping at. I mean, it looks like, well, I mean, it turned it a little bit right there. You can see the neck, it's still pretty rusty up in here. Obviously. I figured maybe I could see down there enough to see it. Let me see, from my own eye. It doesn't look like, well, you know what, I don't know. I think it actually started flaking some of that off there. It looks like that wall right here is looking pretty good on that side, and it looks like it's actually lifting it off in a layer because I can see it down there. I'm going to go grab a big screwdriver. I'm going to see if that little hunk will come off. Well, not little hunk, it's a pretty big hunk. Hang tight, let me go get a screwdriver. Okay, so I just took the screwdriver, did a little scraping, and I don't know. I think it actually is all, as you see right there, coming right off. And that big piece that I saw in there came right off. Huh. I think this vinegar idea actually may have worked. That is super surprising. Alright, well, I'm going to go get rid of this vinegar out of here and put a hose in here and spray this thing out and hit it with a little muriatic acid and see what it looks like. Still got to repair the tank in this area right here, which is fine. I don't see any other leaks anywhere, which is good. But yeah, let's clean this thing out. It looks like it actually did the trick. Look at that difference right there. It looked like that a second ago, and it looked like that just hitting it with a screwdriver. Now let me see. Let me see if I can hold this flashlight at the same time. Right there. If I can make sure it focuses. Obviously I gotta clean it off a little bit, you know, like rinse it, but right there, see where it's all scraping right off? Okay, well, I'm not gonna say this is a bust. I think this actually might have worked. Yeah, let me clean this out. Let's see what it looks like in the end. Well, that's some of the scale and stuff that I got out of there. That's a pretty nice hunk of sludge, whatever the hell that is. Rust. Yeah, that works surprisingly well. All right, I'm gonna go get the hose, rinse this thing out, and then we're gonna take a look at it really good on the inside. But holy shit, I think it worked. All right, so before I rinse this with water, and I turn that off, the flashing, look at the sidewalls. Look at all that. I don't know if I can, let me see if I can change angles here. There you go. Alright, see that there? It actually took that out of there. I'm going to have to drop in some more befores, but that's all the sludge sitting at the bottom. That all broke loose. But see that all the areas where it's clean all around it? I cannot believe that actually worked. Alright, we got a little further to go because I got to knock that loose. I have a feeling the screwdriver's going to knock that loose, which I'm going to find out in a second. But look at the... look over there. Look at the baffle. Oh, it's actually clean. Okay. So a week of vinegar and 11 gallons of vinegar. About a cup of salt. And then I filled the rest of the way up with water and let it sit for the week. Alright, I guess I'm going to have to get in there and scrape out a little air. Put a little bit of muriatic acid in it. Clean it all up. See how it looks. And then if it actually takes everything out of there, I gotta throw something in there just to coat it for the time being, which will probably be, I might use acetone afterwards, clean it up a little bit. And I'm thinking I may either shoot it with WD-40 or just put some oil in there, and I'm just gonna turn it with some oil. That way it can sit for a little bit until I'm ready for it, until I can coat it, and then I'll clean it with acetone again, and then I'll put the sealer inside of it. But I'm not ready to seal it just yet, so I don't wanna go putting it in right now. Damn, I think it worked. Yeah, I'm a little surprised. All right, let me clean this thing up. Okay, I got this thing filled up pretty decent with water in here, and I tell you, I am astounded on how clean it came outside here. This is absolutely amazing. I mean, that little bit on the bottom, the muriatic acid will take care of, but look at that tank. I mean, that's filled with water. That's how clear the water is. I can see the bottom like it's nothing. See the water moving? That's clean. That is surprising. And that is 1 week of white vinegar and about a cup of salt. And just swishing it every so often. I'd come out here, I'd grab the cart and I'd give it a wiggle just to make sure that stuff's sloshed around. And when I looked in there the other day, I'm like, this shit ain't working. It's all still rusty and caked all inside here and looking bad and all that. And boy, was I wrong. Apparently that's all it took was to agitate it, scrape it off. And then I guarantee you, if I probably filled this thing up with another 11 gallons and salt and let it sit, this thing would be clean as a... I probably wouldn't have to put the muriatic acid in it. But I'm going to, since I have it. I don't have any more vinegar. I have no choice. But I tell you, this ain't no green screen movie magic making shit I'm doing here. This is actually just cleaning it as you saw and now rinsing it with water. Look how clean the water's coming out. If that water's looking that good, the gas is going to look perfect coming out of there and flowing into that carburetor. Look at that. That is clean as can be. That is amazing. I'm shocked. I have to say I'm shocked. All right, well, if you guys have a tank that's rusty, definitely the vinegar and salt work for you. If you have a tank that looks like mine, like there's absolutely no hope, you know what? Don't waste your money going to a tank place. Do that shit yourself. That was way cheaper. They wanted like $250 to take this tank and clean it out around here for me. I think I have $30 of vinegar inside there. That's it. Muriatic acid. The salt I had. So I'm going to say less than $50 clean that out. Now, I did buy a tank seal. I got the POR tank seal kit. I will end up putting in this. Obviously, that's what I want to end up using. I don't know. Maybe I'll go ahead and do it because I'm going to take this in the shop anyway when I'm done. And then I'll show you how it looks all cleaned out. But I want to make sure this thing's thorough. So anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the muriatic acid in there. I'm going to close the lid. I'm going to put on safety goggles, gloves, because you don't want to get that shit on you. And I'll probably put something on with long sleeves. I'm going to swish it around, roll it a little bit. Don't do it anywhere where your grass is if you don't want your grass to die. I did it here because this is under my tree. I don't really care about this tree. Not that I dumped anything in here. And yes, there was no ants, no grass, no nothing harmed in this video with what I dumped here, because this was all just water and a little bit of flaky rust. All the bad stuff went into a pile of rocks. There's just a little bit of rust chunks and whatever the hell that was. It's almost like crystallized gas. I don't know. It's like just dried up sludge inside there. And it was a lot. So anyway, all right. I'm going to finish getting this out of here real quick. I'm going to put this acid in there. We're going to let it sit for an hour. Come back, check the last results. And I'm going to say, so far, this is a win. So, be back in a minute. All right, so it's been over an hour. Let's see how that acid did. I know I got to swallow. Shaking around a little bit. All right, looks like it broke a lot of stuff up that was excess inside there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this cap back on, give it a shake once I get my glasses on, my gloves on, and then see what this thing looks like. All right, my friends, acid is out. And let's see. So it's got some discoloration on the bottom, but all the rust is gone. What is that right there? Oh, some of that shit stuck on there. I gotta re-rinse that. Yeah, no matter how many times you rinse and slosh and rinse and slosh. Yeah, still sticks in there. But you can see the difference. I mean, look at them sidewalls. So I can get down in there. Look at them sidewalls in there. What a difference. I just got to rinse it out really good with the pressure washer next and get all that loose stuff that's still sitting in there out. But it's not rusted anymore. That's all that matters. Man, that is unbelievable how well that came out. All right, so I'm going to say next, I'm going to get the pressure washer set up, pressure wash that out really good. Then I'm going to set it up with a dryer or a heat gun on low. It's blowing in there. I'm going to leave a little bit of distance for the heat to go out. We're going to get this thing dried up inside there. I'm going to coat it with a little bit of oil of some kind. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and leave this inside the climate controlled shop until I'm ready to seal this tank and put it back on the 300. So I'm going to go ahead and pretty much wrap this video up, but I'm going to go ahead and get all this sandblasted down. I'm going to repair these couple little holes right here that have started this tank. That's why I'm glad I found this now. I'm glad I took the tank off so I can get this taken care of before it's back on, because that would have sucked to have the tank leaking. And obviously this rusted from the outside. Anyway, well, so that concludes the video. So at least now you guys know if you have a really rusty tank, cup of salt, and this tank here I think is a, I can't remember what it is. I think it's maybe a 21-gallon tank, if I'm not mistaken, one of the Farmall 300s. But anyway, so 11 gallons worth of white vinegar, 1 cup of salt. Let it sit for a week. Came back, cleaned it out, rinsed it, and really didn't do any scraping inside there. So that's actually just it breaking itself loose without me scraping anything. So that's pretty good. And then the muriatic acid helped break up some of the loose stuff. And that was about an hour, and I diluted that with some water, and I sprayed it out again. So I'm going to give it one more shot of water. I'm going to go get the pressure washer, hit it one more time, break up the rest of that loose stuff. Like I said, dry it, throw a little oil in there for now, and then I'm going to call it done until I get back to that 300. So there you go. It works, guys. It's a lot safer than making hydrogen gas with electrolysis. So I would say, honestly, for as bad as this tank was, and it worked, I don't see why even like the Cub tank and all those with a little bit of rust, it should clean those up just fine. No problem whatsoever. So there you go. It works. All right, so make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. And that's it for the video. And until next time, thanks for watching.